Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of This Is Lucky's channel. Lucky, can you see yourself? Oh, what's going on? Say hello. So, we're sitting here watching King of the Hill. And they're playing softball. It's softball, right? Yeah, they're playing softball. And anyway, it reminded me when I was in this place called Edgemeade in Mineral Wells, Texas. I think it was 77, 78 that I was there. Of all the institutions that I was in growing up, Edgemeade was the best. It was even better than my home life, which is frankly kind of sad. I mean, my mother didn't hit me, but she sure knew how to yell and threaten. But anyway, so we had a softball team, and I enjoyed that. I mean, at the time I guess I was in my earlier mid-teens, and when I would get up to bat, I was always afraid I was going to hit the catcher with the bat. At one point, I was the catcher, and then they put me out in the field. We won exactly one game, and we played that team twice. The first time they let us win, they were just having fun. You know, they purposely wouldn't catch the ball and stuff like that. The second time we played them, which was late in the season, oh, they whipped us. Oh, boy, did they whip us. But it was fun. We also had a bowling team, because we did league bowling. How good we were, I couldn't tell you. Probably average or below average, but I don't remember. That was a long time ago. The odd thing is I can remember a time when Earth was what you call Earth today, was just muck, and it was, it's hard to describe it. I mean, I'm that old. Not really. Anyway, when we moved up here, the first trip we took up here, we stopped by what used to be Edgemeade in Mineral Wells, Texas. Both of the dorms were gone. And when I was there, we only used one of the barracks as a dorm. Around the time I left, we were working on getting the other barracks, because it's an old Army base, old Fort Walters. They trained helicopter pilots. And the other barracks, we were working on cleaning it up and getting it ready so they could be opened up as a dorm. But they didn't. I left before they opened it. So both of those buildings are gone. The pool, which was leased to the town or city, it's really a town, of Mineral Wells, was gone. The gymnasium is gone. I don't remember what the building was next to the gym. I just don't remember that building. But there was something there at one point. Maybe it was built after I left, but it's gone. It's, there's like a foundation down there now. The hospital's still there, but we didn't use the hospital. Supposedly we owned it, or the institution owned it. But I had two great teachers while I was there, Debbie LeBoon and Frank LeBoon, and the dorm was named LeBoon Hall after them. We had a great administrator, but the kids all put together a petition, and we want him out of here, and I haven't signed it, even though I didn't support it. I didn't have the guts to stand up and say, no, I'm not going to do that. Now I wouldn't sign a thing like that. But anyway, once somebody donated a whole bunch of bicycles, And that was nice. You know, I used to take a bike out and go riding around. The administration building is still there. When we drove by, there were Mineral Wells police cars there. It looks like there had been a fire. When or why or what, I don't know. But and the rec hall was still there, but it looked like somebody was living in the rec hall, like they turned it into a house or an apartment. And sometimes the kids would go AWOL. We called it rabbit fever. And sometimes they would go over to the hospital building and break in there, and you know, all of a sudden in the middle of the night, all of a sudden all the lights go on. Yeah, they would find the
light switch.
Yeah, you know, and wherever they kept the, what would you call it? Generate? Not a generator. Anyway, the power supply for the whole building, not just a room. We're talking about the whole building. And all of a sudden, it lights up. We used to play softball. Right there is basically the grounds of the hospital building. And it's like across the street from the gym and across the other street from the swimming pool. I remember when either Guard or Reserve or both did maneuvers, all of a sudden you see these trucks, and you know, trucks with tanks on the back of them, and Jeeps. Back then they still used Jeeps, not Humvees. That says something about my age. And all of a sudden going down the road, you just stand there and say, uh-oh, what's going on? But they were just doing maneuvers, you know, their yearly training. And sometimes you'd see something, you know, that once a month training that they do, but it wasn't that big of a mobilization. I took recorder, learned, you know, how to play the recorder. I really liked it too. I wouldn't mind relearning it.
Something I never learned in school.
The recorder?
No.
Not too difficult.
Kind of like a red plastic flute, what ours look like.
Yeah. The secretary for the, let's see if I remember this correctly. The secretary, her husband, she was basically retired. Her husband had helped build the Panama Canal, I believe. I think he was, I don't know if he was an engineer or if he was just one of the, you know, employees or what, but I think he was down there when that was built. One of the staff, he taught General Patton, the son of the famous General Patton, how to fly a helicopter. I remember once this girl, you know, you have to remember this was an old army base. The dorm was an old army barracks, and there were actually barracks all over that old base. It's just, you know, they had been turned over for civilian use. In some cases, I'm sure they were just abandoned. Nobody used them. But this girl broke the glass on the mirror. She broke the mirror of the, you know, like the medicine cabinet over the sink, and she slit herself right here. And you're talking about a lot of blood. What?
Like that.
What?
I was surprised they were allowed to have glass like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, now of course it would just be like polished metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think I've ever seen that much blood come out of another person. And she wanted to die too. I mean, she wanted to die. And they tried to help her, and she just fought off the help. Eventually all they could do was grab her by the wrist and drag her into the infirmary. We had an infirmary in the dorm. when I was first there, we didn't have an isolation cell or anything like that. Eventually, there were 4. I had thought there were 5, but when we drove by, it looked like there had only been 4, because the foundations are there, but the buildings are gone, of basically houses. It would have been like officers' quarters, and the NCOs would have been in the barracks. But they turned one of the houses into like an isolation building.
Well, they probably tore down a lot of the buildings too.
Yeah. And after the first administrator left, they brought in this guy, I think from New York, and he was very gay. I mean, you know, and this is during a day and time where...
Femme fatale, huh?
Yeah, and his friend came down once, and we were all told, don't look, don't, you know, just, you know, this is a small North Texas town. It's bigger now, but, you know, I mean, at the time it was a small North Texas town. That kind of thing just was, you know, this is what, mid to late 70s, so
wasn't known.
Yeah, yeah. People weren't out, and
or the few that were scary as hell.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of like David Bowie when he dressed as Ziggy Stardust.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, this guy, the new administrator, gave me an album, the John Denver album. I'm a John Denver fan. John Denver and Harry Chapin are like my gurus.
I used to have a Harry Chapin 8-track.
Oh, cool.
I think I may have 2 of them.
Oh.
I had an 8-track tape player that was the kind you could carry around with, you know, like a
boombox?
Yeah, like a boombox, but I wish I never gave it up, but
yeah. And
who knows what happened to it.
You know, we need to get speakers. We have a stereo with a turntable, but
and we need to find a needle for the record player.
Yeah.
I think you can get them online now.
Yeah, but anyway, so I was in this place called Edgemeade, and I tried to friend. I thought I found Debbie and Frank LeBoon on Facebook, and I tried to friend them, but they didn't reciprocate. And I just want those 2 to know that they were very important in my life. And you know, I mean, I look back, the next place I was in after Edgemeade was a place called the Devereaux Foundation, which was H-E-double-L on Earth. But I had, for one school year, I had a math teacher there who was great, and her name was Mrs. Rabinowitz. And the kids weren't real nice to her, but she was a great teacher. You know, and those 3 teachers were 3 of my best teachers. And I could go on, and I could tell you more things about the time I spent in Edgemeade that were good, that were positive. But I'll just leave it at this, because this video is almost 15 minutes long now. So, anyway, y'all have a great day. Great night. Bye.